All right, here is the video for lesson 10.02b independent practice. And here we're going to learn about the exterior angle theorem. Uh, when you have a triangle, you have angles that are inside. We call these three triangles inside interior angles. And then we're going to have exterior angles, angles that are outside the triangle. Basically, the exterior angle theorem says when you have an exterior angle, like the one you see here shaded in blue, the angles that are opposite or to the farthest to the exterior angle, that will be these two angles, the red and the green one, those two angles are opposite or the farthest from the bluest angle here. Okay, basically this exterior angle is going to be the addition of these two angles. Okay, so if you look at this question here, problem number 2, they asked me to find angle FEH. Angle FEH is this one here. You can see, look, FEH, okay? But I'm just going to shade only this little piece here. So that's the angle they're asking me to find how much it will be. All right. Now, who are the two angles that are the farthest from the angle that I shaded in yellow? It will be the 79 and the 51. So these two angles here, okay, are the two opposite interior angles from angle FEH. So basically what I have to do now, okay, is I just have to take 79 and add 51. And you're going to see I'm going to get 130 degrees. That's how much is angle FEH. Okay, let's do the next problem. So here's question number 4. Okay, I'm jumping around because I'm doing the problems that are easier first, and then we do the ones that are a little bit more work. And this problem number 4, they asked me to find the angle IJL. And if I look at this triangle, here is I. I'm going to go to J and then to L. So I want to find this angle here, which I'm not going to shade the whole thing. I'm just going to shade this little corner here. This is the angle they asked me to find out. Now you can see that angle is outside the triangle. So that's the exterior angle. Okay. And based on the exterior angle theorem, the two angles that are the farthest, the two angles that are opposite to that angle, if you add them, it will give you the angle. So the two angles that are the farthest or the opposite to angle IJL that I shaded in yellow is going to be, and it has to be inside the triangle. So it's going to be the 18 and it's going to be the 23. See, those two angles are the farthest from the exterior angle inside the triangle. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add those two angles. So I'm going to take 18 at 23. And when I add, I'm going to have 41 degrees. Okay. And that's how much is angle IJL. Let's do the next one. All right, for question number 3, I suggest you can use the exterior angle theorem. Remember that the two opposite angles to the exterior angle, they when you add it up equal to that exterior angle. You can use that here, but I think it's going to be easier if you remember what we learned in previous classes, like the triangle sum theorem, that all three angles inside the triangle add up to 180. And about supplementary angles, okay? So two angles that when you add it up equal 180. That's what supplementary angles. So I'm going to use this here. And I hope you see we have a straight line and two angles on that straight line. Every time you see that, that's supplementary. Remember, supplementary angles mean two angles that when you add it up, that's going to be equal 180, right? And that's what I'm going to do here to find all of these angles that we are missing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I'm not going to start with 1 because I don't have enough information to find angle 1. Now, I can do number 2 because I have information that help me find number 2. And I cannot do number 3 because I don't have enough information to find number 3. And I can do number 4 because that one I have enough information to find it. I'm going to start backwards. I'm going to start with number 4. Okay, I think it's easier that way. And what I want you to imagine is that this does not exist. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Let me get my white. Okay, imagine all of this here is gone. I'm going to erase this, see? Imagine this is what you have. Okay, you only have this line. Okay, and I hope you notice here, I'm going to highlight in orange. We have a straight line. We have angle number 4 here. Will be like this one here. And I'm going to put the other one in blue. And the 50 degree, which is this one here. Okay, so you can see those two angles, all right, are supplementary because they're part of a straight line, straight angle. And two angles that are supplementary equal to 180. All right, let me go get my calculator. So you can use your calculator here to figure out how much it's going to be angle number 4, because 50 plus the angle 4 equal 180. Or you can do this, take 180 and how much you need to add to 50 to get angle to get 180 degrees. So I can do 180 minus 50. And you can see I got 130 degrees. So I'm going to put the angle here. So this is 130 degrees. And I already know angle number 4. Okay. Now, remember that I drew this here. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to go back to the shape. Now I can find angle number 2. Okay. And how do I find angle 2? The same idea. Imagine, just imagine that none of this is here. Okay. None of this is here. All right. So none of that is there. All right. And I hope again you see that we have a straight line. Okay. I'm going to shade it. The 142 degrees will be, I'm going to shade it in orange. Okay. See, because we're working with supplementary. And angle number 2, I'm going to shade it in blue. Okay. So I hope you see that I'm making, again, supplementary angles. So taking my calculator one more time, I can take, because I know these two angles add up to 180. So I'm going to start with 180. How much I need to add to 142 to get 180. So I'm going to subtract 180 and 142. And you can see I get 38 degrees. Okay. So angle number 2 here is 38 degrees. So I'm going to put here in box number 2, 38 degrees. Okay. But I'm going to put back what I erased. And you can see that right now it's taking shape. The whole triangle, and finding all the angles. Now I can find angle number 3. Okay. How? Using the exterior angle theorem. Or I can also find angle number 1. How? Using the triangle sum theorem. Okay. So you know what? I'm going to use the triangle sum theorem. So imagine none of this is here. I'm going to erase this. See? I'm putting it in white. So all of this here is gone. Look, I'm putting it in white so you don't see that, you don't get confused. And this line is not there too. Okay. Can you see we have a triangle? And all the 3 angles inside the triangle add up to 180. I have two of them. So how can I find the third one? Again, I'm going to add the two angles that I have, 38 and the 50. And you can see between these two, I have 88 degrees. And how much I need to add to 88. So I get 180 because all three angles inside the triangle add up to 180. You just do 180 minus the 88 that you have already. And you can see that will be 92. So this triangle I should have shaded in red. I'm going to shade it in red now. So this angle here, angle number one, okay, look, like I shaded here. Angle number one is going to be, how many degrees I said? I need to look at my calculator again. Oops, it went away. 92. Okay, so that will be 92 degrees. So angle number one, I can put 92. All right. Now I can find angle number three. So let me erase everything that I shaded in white because I want to put back the shape. Now I can find angle number three. So this angle here that I'm going to shade in blue. Okay, in fact, I'm going to shade it with different color. I don't know, let's shade it like in green. There we go. So angle number three here, okay. This angle number three is an exterior angle. Okay, exterior angle. And how do you find that angle three? You're going to add the two farthest angles that are inside the triangle. So let me do a favor. Let me take this out of the way. Imagine that is not there. Imagine this is not here either. Okay. So I hope you see now, angle three is outside the triangle. That will be the exterior angle. And 38 and 50 are the angles that are inside the triangle that are the farthest from angle 3. So those will be the two opposite interior angles. So if I add 38 and 50, that will give me angle number 3. So let's do that really quick. So 38 plus 50, you can see I'm going to get 88. Okay, so angle number 3 is 88 degrees. And that's how you do this problem, okay? Let's go to the next one. So here is problem number 5. And like the previous problem, you can see we have a more complex shape, triangles. Obviously, we have two triangles and we have an exterior angle. So I'm going to have to use many of these things that we have been learning, many of these theorems and rules that we have been learning in class, the exterior angle theorem, the triangle sum theorem, supplementary angles, okay? So basically what I want you to do is when you start working with this, you're going to have to ignore the other shape. So right now, I'm going to find angle number 1. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So when you want to find angle number 1, you're going to have to imagine that none of this is here. So look, I'm putting it in white. So you do not see, I mean, right there. There we go. You do not see any of this. Okay, you only see this. Okay, look, angle 1 and the 75 degrees are on a straight line. And there's two angles on top of the straight line. So we're working with supplementary. Look, I'm going to shade it the same way like in the picture. So the 75 degrees is what I'm going to shade in yellow. So right there, see? That will be 75. And angle number 1 is the one in orange. Okay? So this here. Like you can see in the picture on the right-hand side. All right? So those two angles together add up to 180. You already have 75, so let's get the calculator. So basically what I'm going to do, let me clear all of this. So you're going to do 180 minus the angle you have, 75. You can see that angle number 1 is going to be 105 degrees. So 1 here, 105, okay? So you can see what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to ignore the rest of the picture. Okay, so what we're going to do now, Let me see if I can delete this. There we go. Okay, I put back the picture. Now I can find angle number 2. How? Again, you're going to have to ignore all the other parts. So you can see angle number 2 is inside with angle 1 and the 24 degrees of this triangle MNO. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide all of this. I'm going to hide it. Okay, oops, I didn't want to do that. I just want to keep the line there. There we go now. Okay, so look, I'm shading everything in white that I don't need. So you can only focus on the triangle. Okay, look at the triangle right there in the middle. All right. And we have 3 angles inside the triangle. Using the triangle sum theorem that says all 3 angles together, when you add it up, is equal 180. So if you look, I have angle 1 that is 105. I have angle M that is 24 degrees. And between those two, I have 129. So how much more I need to add to 129 to get 180? So when you do 180 minus what you have already. And you can see this angle number 1 is going to be, I forgot. It's going to be 51 degrees. Okay. So we have angle 1, that is 105, angle 2, that is 51 degrees. And now I'm going to put back what I erased. So let me put it back. Let me put it back there. Okay. Now I can find angle number 3. All right. How do I find angle number 3? Well, you're going to have to ignore everything here. See, I'm going to shade all of this, including the 105, okay? Imagine all of this is gone. I'm only gonna look at the red line and the green line. That's what I'm gonna do. See, I'm trying to hide everything there. There. And again, if you look, I have a straight line, I have 2 angles. And when you have a straight line and 2 angles, those 2 angles together add up to 180. I already have 51. So let's get the calculator. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 180 minus 51. And you can see it's going to be 129, which was the 2 angles. Let me see if I can show you that. So we know it's 129. But if I erase this, angle 3, it's outside this triangle. And the 2 angles farthest for angle 3 is 105 and 24. So that was another way you could have done it. 105 plus 24 is 129. But I did it with supplementary angles. So I already know angle number 3 is 129 degrees. So let me put here 129, angle 3. And finally, we can find angle number 4. Again, if you ignore all of this, I'm going to focus on the triangle where angle 4 is located. So look, I'm hiding everything there. I want you to look at anything only at the triangle you see right now. Okay, you have 3 angles inside the triangle. Those 3 together add up to 180. That's the triangle sum theorem. So take your calculator. Let's add the 2 angles that you have. So 129 plus 30. And subtract that from 180 because all 3 angles together gives you 180 degrees. So angle number 4 is going to be 21 degrees. Okay, let me put back here, take this out so you can see the whole picture. That's how you're going to have to do this problem. All right, let's go to the last one, which is problem number 1. So in this problem number 1, we are going to use the exterior angle theorem. Why? Because if you notice, I'm going to be shading here. I'm going to shade in the same colors I have here. So we have an angle out. See, here's the triangle. we have an angle right here. See that it says 2x plus 5. So this angle I wrote that I shaded in blue, that's an exterior angle. And we have two angles that are inside the triangle, which I'm going to shade in the same color. So I'm going to use like the kind of purple. I'm going to use fuchsia here. Okay. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to use this pink. So we have this angle here. Okay, the one that is inside here. And I'm going to shade now in green. We have this angle here. Okay, these two angles that I shaded are inside the triangle. So these two triangles are interior angles. Okay, and using the exterior angle theorem, the exterior angle, okay, the exterior angle is going to be the same as the two interior angles together. All right, that's what basically the exterior angle theorem is saying. Okay, so now what we need to do is we're going to take the exterior angle, that is 2x plus 5, and I'm going to equal that to the two exterior angles. So the 2x, the one I highlighted in green, I'm going to add that angle with the one that I highlighted in pink, which it says x minus 30. Okay, and then I'm going to solve this equation. And like we did in quarter number 2, back in quarter number 2. First thing, let me make sure I use the highlighter here so you start getting the idea. First thing I need to do is I need to go to the right side of the equal. And I hope you see I have this 2x and an x. These are like terms. I need to add them, combine them. 2x plus an x is equal to 3x. And then I write the rest of my problem here. Okay. And the first thing I did was to combine like terms on each side of the equal. So the 2x and the x that I highlight in yellow, they're like terms. I combine them. I add them. Next thing, I want to solve for x. So I need to put all the x's on one side and all the numbers on the other side. So what I'm going to do now, let me change the color here. What I'm going to do now is every time you have the x's on opposite sides of the equal, you're going to subtract them. So I'm going to take this 3x and I'm going to subtract this 2x. 3x minus 2x is just x. And I'm going to put it right here on the left side of the equal. So I did 3x minus 2x. And then let me change the color. Let me choose another one. I'm going to choose purple here. I'm going to take the 5 and I'm going to subtract the negative 30. I hope you heard what I said. I'm going to take the 5 and I'm going to subtract the negative 30. Every time you have terms on opposite ends of the equal sign, you're really subtracting them. So let me take the calculator so I show you. I'm going to take the 5 and I'm going to subtract the negative 30. And you can see what I got there. I got 35. Okay. And that will be my value of the x. Okay. Now, once you have the value of x, now we can find the three angles. So the first angle here is RPQ. So look at the letter in the middle is P. So that means we're in corner P here. And we want to find that angle. And that angle says 2x. So basically what I'm going to do, use your calculator here. I'm going to take 2. I'm going to multiply by the x. And my x here is 35. And you can see that angle is going to be 70 degrees. So this is 70. Okay. Now I'm going to find the next angle, PQR, which is the one in pink. Okay. And again, use your calculator. It says there x minus 30. So take your x, which is 35, I'm going to subtract 30. And you can see that will be 5 degrees. So that's what goes right here. And finally, QRS, which is the angle I shaded in blue, the exterior angle. So to find that angle, I'm going to do 2 times the x plus 5, and my x is 35. So I'm going to put in the parenthesis 35. You can see that's going to be 75 degrees. And this is how you do this problem. Okay, I hope this helps.